kind of like spring. I mean, I didn't like some of the ways. I thought early, we didn't finish in the red zone. Balls, on the ground, and then, did some things. But obviously, I think spring, appreciate the work, but certainly have a long ways to go.
Tom didn't get a whole lot of work tonight.
No, that was by design. Wanted to get him about 3 or 4 series, and then put Chad in and get him as much work as good. And want to make sure we got Trey some reps, both Treys.
We're going to get Chad some work with the ones. Was that?
Yeah, just give him snaps. I didn't care if it was ones or twos. Just get Chad. A lot of work. Tommy's had did a lot of good things this spring. Like where he's at, and just thought it'd be good for Chad to get some good work tonight.
It seemed like Chad really took advantage of that though tonight.
I think at points he did. All those guys. You appreciate they trying to take advantage of what's opportunities they're getting. Like a lot of guys, did some good, and certainly some things need to clean up.
What about your freshman tight end, Orndorff?
It was good. I thought he had a good spring, and that's it's not easy necessarily to do when you come in as he should be. He came early, but I think Sky's he's a talented player and works, and I thought he grew as the spring went on.
How'd your defense function tonight without 4 starters?
You saw it. It's.
It doesn't matter what I think.
Oh no, but it's not going to be as clean. That's all right. Our focus was guys that we knew had a pretty good picture on. We wanted to get them a little bit of work, and then get a lot of the guys some work. And it's good. Lafayette and K1 didn't play a lot, but Trenton Coles can't get enough snaps. You look at that. D-line, guys need to get some reps, and I thought, Shakir took advantage. Tyreek, I think he sprained his ankle at the end, but Tyreek did some things, just getting some young guys and play.
How close are Tom and Chad in terms of you have to play games soon?
Yeah, we don't, so both got to keep going. Both got to have a great summer. Our whole team does. Our whole team needs to take advantage. If you take a look at our calendar, our winter phase and our spring phase is probably, our summer phase is probably longer than both those combined. So we got to make sure we take advantage. And we got to, I think we worked. We got, we made strides, but we're nowhere near where we got to be. And summer's got to be huge. And whether you're talking about Tommy and Chad or you're talking about every guy on this team, they got to grind this summer.
Quick comment on the Conway winners. Why you think what they did.
Anytime you have an award, there's other guys that are deserving. Appreciate what TJ did, flipping over from defense to offense. And, he's a guy that's got a chance to help us, And Ty, I thought, Ty, championed, his role. And there's a senior, and I think he's a good example of guys. And so I had a lot of guys to choose from, which was nice. And I think those two were deserving, recipients.
Paul, how do you feel about your running game?
We got ways to go, but we'll work at it, and but we're certainly not where we want to be.
Well, your back's falling up when they put it on the ground a couple times early. Is it tough? Was it when it's your own players causing the fumbles? Was it more those guys being reckless with the ball a little bit, or was it just they got smacked around?
I thought early, Isaac, I thought had a couple on the perimeter. He had a wide track. So that's, I don't think anyone caused that other than execution or lack of execution. I didn't get a great look at when Crocs. I think looked like there was some contact near where the ball was, but he can't put it on the ground. That's certainly got to clean that up.
Looked like the first team offensive line got a lot of reps. What do you think of that, especially the young guys? There's a lot of water.
Yeah, you kind of see bits and pieces of each guy. Thought inconsistent. I saw each guy. Truly did see each guy do some good stuff, and then saw guys be on an edge. So certainly not where we need to be yet, but they did get a lot of, really not a lot of choice. Everyone got a lot of work there, so a lot of choices.
Paul, I know you said you have a long way to go, but from the beginning of spring to now, where do you assess the improvement?
Yeah, I think, we got, we worked, I think we got a little bit more physical. Guys have a little bit better understanding. We got an idea of some guys that could maybe fit some roles, so I think we made some strides. We got to be productive this summer.
Thanks. Good.